This is Fox News First.
She's a local Christian author, and her latest novel is a suspense novel. It's called A Deadly Wilderness, and I've been showing it off right here. She is Kelly Irvin, and we're happy to have her here this morning. Good morning, and congratulations on your novel here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Now, I say Christian author, and then we say suspense novel. Not a combination you always hear. Tell me about the process and how you came up with this book here.
Well, the most important thing is that you tell a good story, regardless of what genre it is. And in particular, when you combine something with a mystery or suspense novel with an inspirational underlying message, you still want to tell a good story, and the story comes first, but the characters will model certain behavior that allows the reader to take away a takeaway value when they've finished reading the story.
And the story is set in San Antonio,
yes.
So people who read this will recognize, even though everything's fictitious, right?
Yes, it is. It's all a product of my imagination.
Right. And talk about the process too, because I know we were talking yesterday on the phone just about, people have ideas and they think maybe they can write a book, but it's a lot more difficult than people might think, right?
Well, I recommend if you want to write a book that you utilize the butt and seat technique. And what that means is you sit down and you write the story. I have a lot of people tell me, I know I could write a novel, but my recommendation is you sit down and you do it. And then you hone your craft. And that means going to conferences. It means getting involved with local writing groups and getting into critique groups and making that the best that it can be. And it's a long process, and you have to have a thick skin, and you have to be willing to take criticism and work on it until you get to the point where it's publishable.
Because this is not your first book, even though this is the first one that was published,
That's right. It's taken me about 6 years to get to this point, and I sat down and wrote that first book and thought, wow, I've got something here, and I started going to conferences, and I realized that I really needed to work on it to get it to the point where a publisher would be willing to give me a contract for it.
Now, you were telling me yesterday that there is a huge market for books like this. Why do you say that?
Well, I think that with the Left Behind series, when that came out, it was extremely popular. Publishers began to realize that there was a market out there, an audience that was looking for more wholesome fare, that wanted things that reflected their values, and that there was, at one time, there were a lot of publishers that were specifically in the Christian market. Now, even some of the publishing houses, the big publishing houses, have inspirational imprints because they recognize that there is a market for it.
We talk a lot on our show about e-readers, Kindle, those kinds of things. As an author, do those kinds of contraptions, that technology, does that scare you a little bit that these books may one day not be around anymore?
Well, I don't know if it's my age or, my generation, but I enjoy having the book in my hand. But I recognize in the technology of today that there are a lot of people out there that prefer that digital format. And that's fine, whatever works for people. I just want to put stories out there for people to read.
That's wonderful, and you've done that certainly with A Deadly Wilderness. And real quickly, I know you have a book signing coming up on the 19th that we wanted to put up, so people can get a chance to come meet Kelly and shake her hand and get a copy of the book there at the Twig Bookshop. Again, it's Friday the 19th, so coming up a week from Friday there, and we've got a link to her website right now at foxsanantonio.com. In addition, Kelly was nice enough to give away a copy of her book today, so we'll do that right now. The first caller will get A Deadly Wilderness, and she'll be happy to personalize it for you and autograph it. 470-5222, again, the first caller. The book again, A Deadly Wilderness, and Kelly Irvin is the local author who has put it together, and we're happy to have you on this morning. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thanks.